Fort Worth, Texas. That's the city. Dickies Arena is the site for the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship. It is national semifinal day, and only 4 teams will advance to the championship, while LSU and Florida, they get it done earlier today. They will be vying for that championship on Saturday. Who is going to join them? Well, we're going to find out over the next 2 hours, because this is semifinal number 2 here at these NCAA championships. And here is our bracket. Oklahoma, UCLA, Arkansas, and Minnesota will decide who those next 2. NCAA champion Sam Peshek. You guys, sensational session 1, Alan.
It really was. It came down to the final rotation. Florida ended up on top, but LSU and Georgia really had to battle it out till the end. LSU had to really fight for that spot, but what impressed me was Georgia just missed advancing by less than 2 tenths.
Well, session 2 should be just as exciting. Oklahoma and UCLA are the favorites to advance, and if they do, they would both be seeking their 8th national championship title. However, we know anything can happen in gymnastics, and Arkansas and Minnesota have been looking fantastic. Should they advance, it would be a program record for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We get to see the number 1 team in the country. They're familiar with this. They were at the finals last year along with UCLA, but Arkansas, it was 2012 the last time. But how about the Golden Gophers? It would be the first time that they would ever made the finals. They were surprised to be here. Can they make it to the final? They're all vying for that trophy. Polish that baby up. Somebody's going to be holding that thing high on Saturday. Dickies Arena, the athletes have moved to their first rotation, getting that one-touch warm-up done. We're going to get that first rotation underway here in a matter of moments. But before we do, let's harken back to just earlier today, which was a sensational session number 1 of these NCAA semifinals, and some of those highlights.
Yeah, MJ Frazier was having herself a day. Started off on balance beam. She was so solid. Actually, after the first 3 events, she was in the lead in the all-around. And it's from performances like this, especially bringing that difficulty, Yurchenko double full, into the all-around, that helped her be so successful.
And Sam, Florida was on a roll right here. Sky Blakely, look at her toes even pointed, gets enough height, no issues there. In the most difficult dismount being done in the competition, just sticks it cold. And then Riley McCusker right now has the lead to become the national champion on this event. So exquisite her form, double tuck dismount, and sticks it cold.
LSU struggled on those bar landings. They just could not get any sticks, and we've seen them be so successful on this event throughout the season. All of their dismounts ended up a bit under-rotated and really opened the door for Georgia to kind of come in. However, Connor McLean came in clutch in that final bar routine. She actually wasn't even slated to compete on bars from that arm injury she's been battling through, but also saved the day on beam as well.
And Amari drained this massive double layout on floor. LSU number 1 in the country on this event. And Kaylin Chio right now has the lead on floor. Kalia Lincoln, just one tumbling pass better than the next. That double layout gets higher, I think, every time we see it.
Yeah, that floor rotation came through for the LSU Tigers. It was close with the Georgia Gym Dogs. Here's their scores per event. Both scored in the 197s, so if you've been following us all season, you know we focus on the 198 being a score you got to get to win a national title. I suspect those scores will certainly go up on Saturday. Well, we'll put a bow on session 1 and move to session 2, and you can't talk about it without talking about Jordan Childs, one of the greatest collegiate gymnasts in the history of the sport. Her resume is very long, and she certainly has done it just about everything you can.
She really can, and it is just remarkable how Jordan Childs seems to be busier than ever before, even did Dancing with the Stars, but somehow she gets better and better with 6 perfect 10s this season on floor.
We will get to see that routine today, obviously. Certainly a highlight for many in the stands. But how about this Oklahoma Sooners vault lineup? I don't know if you guys know this, but you can only put 6 up on each event. Well, Oklahoma's got 6 athletes ranked in the top 25 on vault, which is absolutely unheard of. So potentially, depending on who they put in, they could have one of the stoutest vault lineups in the nation, no doubt. Well, we have a 4th member of our team. She is awesome. She is Taylor Davis, and she's got an update on the Oklahoma Sooners, and I'm just kind of wondering if it might affect that vault lineup, Taylor.
It definitely will, John. Addison Fada is only slated to compete on beam for the Sooners here tonight. Head coach KJ Kindler told me Fada suffered a hand sprain this past week, dealing with some swelling and some discomfort here today. She is wearing a wrist guard. Like I said, watch her warm up on beam, the only event she'll compete tonight. She looks solid there, but definitely dealing with some discomfort. And Coach Kindler told me we have to be cautious with hopes that the Sooners will advance to the championship meet on Saturday. But keep in mind, guys, this is a top 5 all-arounder in the country, and it will take her out of contention for that individual all-around title, as those are up for grabs here tonight. But the Sooners are thinking championship, John, and they'll need Fada on Saturday to do it.
Yeah, you said it. They could make it to the finals without her potentially, but could be tough to win it without her. We shall see. Well, the chalk is in the air, the grips are tied on, the gymnasts are warmed up, and we're gonna get it going when we return. Moments away from the start of this first rotation, and here is how it works. You've probably seen this all season. 6 gymnasts per event per team. Top 5 scores count. You can drop that low score if you do have a mistake. This is different though. 6 judges per event here at the national championship. So the scores, you drop the high score, you drop the low score, you average the 4 in between, and that is a gymnast final score. Basically what that means is that after that decimal point, you're going to see a lot more numbers than you're used to seeing during the regular season. The Stream Team, you can catch all the action on the ESPN app, every athlete, every event. Kennedy Baker and Anastasia Webb will be covering UCLA and Arkansas. Bridget Sloan and Trinity Thomas will be covering Oklahoma and Minnesota. They're having a great time. There's our other stats guy, Greg Campbell, up there too, just in case you were wondering who that guy is in the middle. He's awesome as well. Here's where everybody starts. Oklahoma, the number 1 team in the nation. They start on vault. UCLA on bars. They're 5th there. Minnesota on the balance beam. They're the underdogs. They're 12th on that event in the nation. And then Arkansas on floor exercise, a good event for them. Here we go right off the bat with the number 1 team in the nation, Kira Wells. It'll be interesting to see how the absence of Addison Fada affects this vault rotation.
Well, Kira's been sticking a lot this year, starting off with Yurchenko 1.5. That's how you want to start on vault. I know they're missing Addison Fada, but man, when you can put up some solid scores like that, your team is stepping up for you.
They talked about all season how many 10-0 vaults that Oklahoma's had, and it's a lot, so it's coming in handy now. Now the freshman, Tiana Sumana-Sakara, is up on bars to lead off.
And her high on this event is a 9.925. This leadoff spot is critical for UCLA. We talk about sticks being contagious, Sam. Just as Kira stuck her vault, it's critical that Tiana sticks this too.
And she does.
In the first session, we didn't see a lot of stuck dismounts on bars, so I'm so glad to see they're going to be on a roll.
Sumana-Sakara with a nice start there for UCLA. Ariana Ostrom now for Minnesota. A surprise team to come out of that regional, but sensational there to earn their spot here.
Really smooth back handspring layout. She's just a freshman leading off this beam lineup. I was talking to their superstar, who is now turned into assistant coach Maya Hooten, who's coaching beam, and she said she started off not even competing because she wobbled a little bit in some inner squats, and now here she is leading beam off at the national championship.
Right side of your screen, Haley Klein, the junior, leading things off for Arkansas.
Coach Weber says Haley has the best work ethic she's ever seen out of any athlete in her 7 years at Arkansas. Over rotation for Haley on that first tumbling pass. Judges want to see you plant your foot and not move either front foot when you take that lunge.
Great finish from Ariana. She's just the 4th Gopher ever to win the Big Ten Freshman of the Year title.
Haley taking these moments right here before her final tumbling pass to relax and calm down, take a deep breath. These floor routines take a lot of endurance. Unfortunately, totally missed her punch in between the front layout. Was supposed to do a front full.
Mary Jo, what do you think about that last pass?
That could impact her overall start value because she wasn't able to complete the full twist in that last tumbling pass.
So Oklahoma started vault with a 9.975, the highest score of the day. That's the #1 vaulter in the country at the moment. Here's Hannah Shively moments ago for the Sooners.
She does a punt, pike front half. Wow, 2-4-2. Allie, you mentioned it on bars, and I'd say the same about vault. We didn't see many stuck landings, but OU is starting this meet off strong.
Tiana Sumasekara, 9.8875. This is Mika Webster-Longan now in the 2 spot.
And Mika does a great job of having a lot of extension, stretching all the way up from her fingers to her toes. You really see the extension in her shoulders and handstand positions like that. Just a slight hop back on that dismount.
A good start for the Bruins as well. How about the start for the Golden Gophers? 9.9 from Ostrom in that leadoff spot. Now Ava Stewart, the sophomore, in the 2 spot. This is a strong event for Minnesota, their highest ranked event, so you expect them to get a good start, but if they can keep those numbers building from that point, put some pressure on the top teams.
Oh, wobble after her leap series, jump series. But Ava's a 2-time Olympian, so she's been in those high pressure scenarios. Beautiful series with that back handspring swing down. Watch her arm positions here. Good finish, just a full. Now the goal from Minnesota is to build from that 9-9 score from the leadoff athlete Ariana.
Yeah, Stewart, a Canadian Olympian in 2024, an all-around finalist, finishing the top 20.
Finishing, good dismount, good stick. Just that wobble in the middle, but everything else looked pretty solid.
Oklahoma, by the way, started off with a career high from Kira Wells, followed that up with a season high from Hannah Shively of a 9.95. Not bad for the #1 team in the country.
Couldn't have asked for a better start for Oklahoma.
Keep in mind, John, along with Addison Feda's absence, this lineup changed right before we began this meet. Elizabeth Blessy has been leading off, had a bad warm-up. They switched it right before competing.
Yeah, and this is the first time since February 20th that Faith Torres has been in the vault lineup.
She looked great at practice.
Wow.
And she was great in the competition too, 3 for 3. Man, they're going for a record here.
Is this an embarrassment of riches, shall we say, for Oklahoma on vault? But did she stick this? Let's look again. Oh!
A 1/2 hop is my guess, but watch the extension. She's on her fingertips, which is why she's able to throw her arms out to the side and have so much time to prepare for that landing. Phenomenal.
It's just that small scooch at the end.
And speaking of scooches, we have our analyst, our judging analyst, Mary Jo Rohrig is with us. First time here in the postseason. Hey, we're putting you on the spot right now to analyze some of these routines. You've judged for 30 years, college for 20 years. What do you got on that landing for Faith Torres?
I think you guys were right on the money with the 1/2 scooch.
Scooch. Is it a scooch in the code of points?
Oh, 100% it is.
It's going to be now. Well, we're happy to have you with us, and we'll be getting some great knowledge from her throughout this evening's competition as well.
Thanks, John.
Mika Webster-Longan, 9.8625. Followed by Nola Matthews right here for the Bruins. Ava Stewart from Minnesota, 9.8. We are working on there's a big powwow on the floor exercise right now with the judges trying to figure out that Haley Klein score.
And right here for Nola, the dismount is going to be critical for her. Sometimes she lets go too early, so she has to be patient.
Left hand of your screen for Minnesota, Sarah Morrow, the senior, following that 9.8 from Stewart.
Oh, that arm circle, I'm guessing, going to be up to 1/10 deduction for that dismount.
And a couple of hops, though. Yeah, the 2 hops are, take 1 hop, okay, that's fine, but don't make it 2, right?
Sarah finishing a solid back handspring layout series. Good, strong arm positions as she's finishing these skills. She actually won beam at Big Tens in 2024. Finishing gainer full off the side. No wobbles throughout that routine. That's a score that's gonna build.
So floor exercise, Leah Smith coming up next. That Haley Klein score should be coming in any moment. Let's look at this last pass one more time. Maybe we can get Mary Jo to come in and comment on this as well.
All right. Here. So she was supposed to do a full, so now she's missing her start value, so we're gonna have 2/10 off of her start value for missing her last pass. She's gonna have an up to the level deduction as well as losing her connective bonus on that. So that's a big mistake for that team.
That sounds like a lot of stuff.
It kind of is.
It sounds like not what she wanted, most certainly. Now, back over to vault, though. Mackenzie Estep here, the freshman, following a 9.9375 from Faith Torres. This is insane.
Oh, under-rotated that 1.5. Didn't quite let her chest rise enough to make it to vertical at the end, but, you know, we say that, and it's still a really good vault. Nice pop off the table, good technique.
Yeah, before that vault, Faith Torres was the low score at a 9.9375. If you're looking at the score tower on your right, all the scores will come in for each of the athletes, for each team on each event. The lightly shaded score, the lighter shaded score, is the one that is the low score and will be dropped should it remain the low score. So you can kind of keep your tabs on it at home if you like. Get out your calculator and your legal pad and follow along, but we'll try to keep you updated as best we can. So Leah Smith, you guys, has been waiting a long time to do this routine. They finally came up with Haley Klein's score of a 9.05. A lot going on there, so a long wait for Leah Smith. Hopefully that didn't affect her performance. Brooklyn Rowe on balance beam, left hand of your screen.
And for Leah, this is a hard thing to navigate because no matter how much you train to try to emulate these moments in practice, you never know how it's going to feel. And waiting up there on the podium, it's very difficult to keep your body warm, but also not to overthink and get into your head.
Beautiful back handspring layout series, floating to the beam.
Leah doing a great job handling that pressure right there, that front layout step out, so difficult into double tuck. Also, I'm not sure if Leah is aware, but they're gonna wanna drop that Haley Klein score. So it does add pressure for the rest of the lineup.
Brooklyn's beam routine has been so fluid. Great rhythm from start to finish. She is just in the zone. Finishing front full off the side. Guys, scores are gonna continue to build. Last teammate got a 9.9. This one should be even better.
Leah handling that pressure so well. Controlled those landings nicely.
So finally get through that second routine for Arkansas after a long delay. Mackenzie Estep, 9.7875, so that's the new low score. Elle Miller now, the sophomore out of Ham Lake, Minnesota, and Twin City Twisters. Next vaulter to go.
I saw her drill a couple in warm-up, and head coach KJ Kindler said she grew up on the tramp, really helped build her air awareness, especially for this event.
There you go.
Yep, she has taken so much ownership over this vault landing and looks confident every time she competes here.
So can we call it 3.5 stuck vaults?
Yeah.
We'll give Torres a half stick.
I think so.
Sydney Barrows now up for UCLA. They've got a 9.7 on the board as well. They're going to want to drop that one from Matthews.
Caught that packed salto from the high to low, just a little bit close. but Sydney's excellent at handling pressure. She had her career high at the Big Ten Championship where she was co-champion. Just that, such a slight step. Judges could take half a tenth for that, but her body is so precise and tight throughout the bar routine.
And look at that score for Minnesota from Brooklyn Roray, 9.9625. That is the new high beam score at these NCAA championships. If it holds, she will be the national champion on that event. Emma Slevin, the junior, now goes up out of Ireland. She's in the 5 spot. What a rotation for Minnesota.
For the first time ever, Emma Slevin competed in the regional final. Oh, break there on that leap combination. She's going to step back and try it again. Oh no. Went for it second time and didn't get the connection either time. That's really going to affect her start value.
Right hand of your screen, Morgan Price, newcomer of the year in the SEC for Arkansas.
I think it shocked everybody that head coach Jenny Hansen put Emma Slevin in for the first time ever in her career in such a high-pressure situation. She absolutely nailed it and helped Minnesota earn this spot to compete at the NCAA championships. She's also the first gymnast from Ireland to compete in the NCAA.
And on floor, Morgan Price, judges really want to see you make sure you're finishing your jumps all the way around with feet together. No issues for Morgan.
Emma nailed the dismount. So again, that's going to probably be their low score. They're going to hope to drop since that mistake will affect the start value.
Morgan doing 3 tumbling passes. We don't see many of those. Takes extra endurance. Love to see that.
Great addition to this Arkansas team. Newcomer is not freshman, by the way. It's new member of the team, new member of the SEC as well. Here's Lily Peterson now in the anchor spot.
Doing another 1.5.
Oh, this is insane.
Wow. And you know what? I saw her under-rotate almost every single one she did, gave it a little more juice in the competition. She just turns it over so nicely, gets that chest forward, fixes the little mistake from warm-up, and dials it in for a perfect stuck landing. That is absolutely incredible how she's able to find it.
Unbelievable rotation for the Sooners. Here's Ashley Sullivan for UCLA, the 5th gymnast to go. Still looking for their first 9.9, by the way, on this event.
And John, they might get it right here because that release move connected into the pack salto was so well done. Just needs to stick this dismount. Oh, wow. Could that be the first 9.9?
She does such a good job absorbing the mat. Usually it takes athletes a few years to learn how to stick the landing, but not Ashley.
Watch the way she rotates her body. She finishes flipping faster than most, gets so much height. Watch how quickly she gets her body almost in that horizontal position, bends her knees to absorb that landing for the stuck dismount.
Lily Peterson just anchored a 9.95 for Oklahoma in that vault rotation. Here's Frankie Price. Let's go to Taylor.
Back-to-back Price sisters in this Arkansas floor lineup. Morgan Price stayed up on the podium just now, gave her sister Frankie some words of encouragement, hyped her up a little bit. Keep in mind, Frankie's dealt with a plethora of injuries during her career. Having her sister on the team for her this year as she came back from one of those brutal injuries has meant everything to the two of them.
Yeah, she's been sensational. Both Price sisters for Arkansas.
Nice double layout in the air, just landed with her chest a little bit too low, which made her sort of rebound backwards. Judges could take off 1 to 2 tenths for that.
There's Morgan, right hand of your screen, cheering her on after that 9.825 for her performance.
I know Arkansas has worked really hard to really set themselves apart with the height of their jumps and leaps. The jumps and leaps are just as important as the tumbling passes. Oftentimes, judges will deduct more on the leaps than they do on the tumbling.
We talked to head coach Jordan Weber about Frankie, and she just said how much she's meant to this team. And the reason Frankie's continued to go through all these injuries and aches and pains is for her team. So everything she's done today and this season is for her team.
We have some individuals competing today as well. Top finishers from the regionals that didn't qualify with their team. This is Maggie Slythe, a junior, competes for the Air Force Academy, and what a great story. Tremendous all-arounder, and she is competing here in the all-around.
Doing a Yurchenko 1.5. Hop forward on that 1.5. Great body positions in the air, though.
Kaylin Chio is currently the top all-arounder after semifinal number 1, so we'll keep on that track as well. And Jordan Childs, right off the bat, and you talk about potential to win an all-around, Allie, that does it.
Unfortunately, she's gonna get 5/10 off for that fall, and she's gonna just start her bar routine over again. She won the bar title last year. Hard to relax and turn the page in such a short amount of time, but if anyone can do it, it's Jordan.
And she's going right to that handstand too, which give a credit to her for that aggressiveness. Left hand of your screen, by the way, Jordan Leiden from Minnesota. Following a 9.4625, the score Minnesota's going to want to drop with a big hit here from Leiden.
And I'm impressed with Jordan Childs, still going so big and not holding back, John. As you mentioned, she's still going big for those handstands right there. Almost went over on that one again. Great finish for Jordan Childs. Unfortunately, they're not going to be able to count her incredible bar score, but she's human.
Yeah, unfortunate mistake. You know, we're looking forward to kind of that all-around chase, if you will, especially between her and Kaylin Chio from LSU, but doesn't look like that is going to happen. Jordan Leiden, not a perfect beam routine here, but gets through it.
Yeah, it was a little off on her series, but really fights to save it and pull it on.
And right here, watch Jordan. It just takes so much shoulder strength and elbow, everything. When you're too far over, there's really not much you can do. So hard, you usually can feel it right away as you're going for that cast handstand.
So over on floor exercise, Lauren Williams, now the 5th gymnast to go for Arkansas. The Price sisters matching 9.825. So after that slow start from Klein, all 9.8s, looking to finish with a couple 9.
Finishing up with her 3rd tumbling pass, double tuck. Nice control on that landing.
Assistant coach Maya Hooten and Gianna Gertis, who's on this team, actually did all the choreography. And Maya told me she redid this routine 4 times because she didn't feel like it fit her personality.
Well, it looks like it's working. Great start for the Golden Gophers. Cammie Weaver led off with a 9.7875 for Arkansas. Here goes Leah Smith.
She's got to plan a big one. Huge
There you go.
block off the table. She has such control over the way that she sees the air awareness and spots the ground before her feet hit. That's what Arkansas needed. Straight arms on the table, really lets it rise before she starts twisting, and then chest completely vertical when she's landing. And I'm looking at our rules analyst, Mary Jo, and she's given a big head nod for that vault. She liked it.
You could see the vault reverberate with that block. That was tremendous. Here's an outstanding freshman again, Ella Murphy for Oklahoma, following a 9.85 from Peterson.
What stands out to me about Ella is her toe point. The arch of her foot is so exquisite. Sometimes doesn't stick the dismount, so she's gonna have to remember to be patient. The tap under the bar is critical for her right here.
A little slide.
Just that 1/2 little movement of the foot
You know, we talked about it after semifinal one. The bar landings, nobody seemed to be able to stick a bar landing. Oklahoma is one of the best in the business at sticking bar landings, and they're 0 for 2 so far. I think Sam was calling for an investigation. We might have to have one. Sydney Barros now for UCLA, following that 9.85 from Rosen.
Big series to start things off. Excuse me, leap series first. Really strong arm positions when she lands on the beam.
Brooklyn Rowe-Ray now on floor exercise. 9.8375 to start for Salzman. Good start score. They're going to want to build from that, though.
Nice side aerial back handspring. Really difficult series because you have to do your back handspring on your opposite leg. Head coach Janelle McDonald said that Sydney was great after they've had mistakes in the past, made jokes about it, really kept it lighthearted, and it's that kind of attitude that keeps them light and focused in situations like this.
2 for 2 for the Bruins on balance beam.
Tumbling pass, second salto is higher than the first. That straddle was over that 180 degrees.
Nice job from Rowe-Ray. Now back over to vault. Allison Cucci follows Smith's 9.9.
First 1.5 of the rotation, and she gets the stick. You could see it in her face before her feet hit the ground. She just anticipated that so nicely. Strong block off the table, opens at the perfect time, doesn't rush it. Sometimes that can happen when you feel those nerves, but she perfectly placed this down to the ground, and that's a great look at her legs staying together. Coach, and that feeling that you get when you just rock a landing.
Coach Weaver says when she raises her hand to compete, you know she's going to bring her best.
Mackenzie Estep, also a freshman for Oklahoma, follows at Murphy's 9.8375.
Mackenzie is so quick on this event. The connection that she has coming up right here is one of the more difficult ones that we're going to see. She's going to do a blind full, connected immediately into a full twisting double back.
There's a stuck landing. Third to go for UCLA on beam. Mika Webster-Longan now. Scores building. 9.85, then a 9.8875. Exactly what you like to see from your lineup. Now it's time to break a 9.9 if you're a Bruin.
Mika's so pretty to watch on this event. She's so methodical, the way that she places her body. Very smooth rhythm from start to finish. And she's always on high toe, which I think really makes her stand out here.
Sophie Schwartzmiller for Minnesota now. A pair of 9.8375s for them to start. They would like to see those build now. Those are okay to start with, but once you get to the middle of the lineup, to the end of the lineup, you got to start to see 9.9s, especially here at the National Championships.
Sophie going to open up and end with a straddle jump, looking for chest up, just like that.
Mika's doing a good job moving through this beam routine, had a foot movement on her triple series, but other than that, she's continued to keep her chest vertical, really good posture throughout this routine. Bruins need to get a stick here. Not a stick, it was a hop forward, probably 1/10 deduction.
Sophie smart. She steps and kicks out of that tumbling pass instead of lunging. Helps give the illusion of more control to kind of hide any landing deductions.
3 athletes done for the Gophers on floor. Over on the vault, Allison Cucci, a career high 9.9375. Haley Klein struggled on floor exercise. Can she pick it up here?
They stuck 2 in a row. Can they get a third?
Oh, it was close.
It was very close. She sticks so much in practice.
Anytime you hop towards the table or step towards the table, it's an additional under rotation deduction. Looks like the judges are being extra particular with that today.
That stuck landing from E-step helped her get past that 9.9 barrier. 9.925 from her. Here's Hannah Shively.
Nice Jaeger release move. Keeps her toes pointed in that straddle flip, which is very difficult. Judges are looking for a vertical handstand at the top of the bar, just like that.
Oh, and a big step forward.
Tried too hard to stick it. Those knees came close to hitting the floor. Could be a couple tenths deduction for sure. Watch her knees position as she hits. Comes a little bit too close. Just let go of the bar a little bit too early. Wanted to land more vertical and actually a little bit more on her heels.
I actually spoke to Kaylin Chio after the meet, and she said the bounce of the bar is very unique and different. That's why we're seeing that same mistake show up with all these athletes. It seems like you have to be extra patient on the release of the dismount to let your toes ride up so you can get that extra rotation.
Tiana Simonosekara now up on the balance beam in the 4 spot. No scores above 9.9 or in the 9.9s for the UCLA Bruins so far in this entire competition. Looking for their first one. Leah Gonczarowski from Minnesota now, the junior. Follows that Schwartzmiller, 9.875. So scores starting to build for Minnesota. Which team's going to blow past the 9.9s and take that second spot behind Oklahoma after 2?
Well, Minnesota's not giving much on their landings.
Watch how Tiana lands this series. Tiana's an athlete that can go 9.9 plus. We have seen it so many times this season.
I'm impressed right now with Minnesota's ability to stay calm and in the moment. It is so much easier said than done to not have a lot of adrenaline and excitement in this moment. Better in gymnastics to just do your normal and not get too excited.
Watch Tiana's face right here. You're gonna see her take a big, deep breath right before she goes for her dismount. And this has been spectacular for her. Can she get the stick? Oh, really off balance just on that landing. Not quite what we're used to seeing for UCLA on this event.
Again, still looking for their first 9.9 of the competition, and we're coming up on the end of the second rotation.
Yeah, on that back handspring, you see her front heel off, and she needed to push harder out of that left leg. Didn't quite get it all the way around for the landing.
Lauren Williams with that big floor routine, rotation 1. Now looking for a big vault. Haley Klein put up a 9.8125. A couple of 9.9s might just be enough to move Arkansas into that second spot after 2 rotations.
She can stick.
They're going for it. I tell you what, they are going for it, Sam.
She had some good ones in critical moments.
Now Caitlin Smith, the junior, not someone you normally would see in this Oklahoma lineup, following that Shively 9.7625. So the first little bit of a glitch for Oklahoma.
Yeah, Caitlin doesn't have the experience that the other athletes on this team do, but you wouldn't know going to do a double layout dismount. Wow, that is huge for her. What an exciting moment.
How about that from Caitlin Smith? Only her 4th bar routine of the season. And what a time to do it. Jordan Childs ready to go on the beam. Obviously that difficult start on bars in that first rotation. But any event she goes on, she's capable of getting a 10. And right now for her and UCLA, it's about the team and it's about advancing.
And this is a really big test for her. Similar to what we talked about in session 1, this is the mental test. We know she can do the gymnastics, but can she have a tight mind to focus on what's in front of her? Strong back handspring layout series.
Ariana Ostrom from Minnesota follows a 9.8875 for Gonczarowski.
Beautiful. Absorbing the beam at the end of that lead series. And you know Jordan's angry. So she's doing angry beam now, which means it's a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more commanding.
Sam, you're the beam queen. I've heard you say you like angry beam.
It makes it a little easier to make sure you're going to get a hit. And this is looking fabulous. Gotta get her chest up on this side aerial, no problems. I like how she's waiting on her finish positions too. Really shows the judges how much control she has for each skill. The goal here is not to rush the dismount. She does a good job waiting to twist. Wow, that might have been the best beam routine I have seen her do this year. I think she's doing the best gymnastics of her entire career now.
Sam, one fantastic routine after the next. Ariana on floor. That could be their highest score of the day so far on floor.
Yeah, I talked with Jordan yesterday after training, and we talked about that. So we take another look at her beam routine.
Really strong landing when she holds on to those finish positions.
Yeah, we talked about her gymnastics. She seems more powerful than she's ever been, which power for a gymnast is something that wanes as you age in the sport, but apparently not for Jordan Childs. Here's Morgan Price now in the anchor spot.
Does a Yurchenko 1.5.
What a way to finish the rotation.
She got a 10 this year on that event.
Faith Torres to anchor the bar rotation. After that, Smith, 9.9125. What? Amazing for the Sooners.
And I don't know if anybody does that pack salto higher than Faith Torres. Going to do the same dismount that we just saw from Caitlin, a double layout. Watch for her feet squeeze together. Wow.
They say that she doesn't have a lot of bad days, and it makes sense because she makes all of her skills and just her entire demeanor, it looks so easy. Like it's a random Thursday or something.
Watch the height of this, elbows extended, just ever so slightly bent, but judges don't get this replay. The slow-mo that we have, and then this double layout dismount, just a little bit of minute leg separation. This is a different angle, so the judges may not have seen that.
Strong finish for the Sooners, strong finish for the Razorbacks. Can Sienna Alipio get a strong finish for UCLA? Jordan Childs with the first score of 9.9 or better with that 9.95. Minnesota looking for a strong finish from Jordan Lyden on floor exercise. 9.9 for Ostrom right before she went.
Watch this triple series. She does a handspring layout, and watch how strong her arms come down to pull her chest up.
Jordan anchors 3 of the events that she does, and it's because she's so precise and her execution is so intentional and so well done.
Sienna used to be the leadoff for UCLA on beam, but is so strong. They thought that it could maximize her score going at the end. Been so solid all season. And one more solid routine for Sienna Alipio. She's putting it in the bank.
And so with a 2.5, no landing deduction there. I gotta say, I'm impressed with the intentionality of Minnesota's landings on floor. I didn't see any obvious landing deductions from Minnesota on floor.
Yeah, all 4 teams, tremendous finishes to those rotations. We're going to see how they shuffle themselves as we get ready for the individuals. Here's Gwen Fink from North Carolina. North Carolina, tremendous season this year.
Really good block off the table, 1.5, just that big hop forward.
Gwen just competing on vault today. Now someone doing the all-around. We saw Maggie Slife on vault in the first rotation. Here she is on the uneven bars.
You know, I would guess a lot of athletes would be nervous to go into Oklahoma's rotation and to go last up after that bar rotation. But Maggie fits in so well because she is so precise and her form is so nice. Her toes are glued together, handstand right on top of the bar.
There you go, Maggie.
Couldn't have done that better.
No one else can stick that bar dismount, but Maggie's life can.
She goes to Air Force. She's got the air awareness, Sam.
Yeah, of course. Silly
I asked her if she's gotten her assignment yet. They get their assignments at the end of their junior year at Air Force, and she said she wants to be a pilot. She's hoping it's a pilot assignment, and I got to tell you, in the world we live in now, that is something to take on most certainly. Avery Neff now for Utah. Saw her on bars in that first rotation, just a 9.8 there. I said she was maybe a potential all-around champion, but she's got to put up some big numbers, almost perfect numbers the rest of the way if she wants to make that happen.
Strong series to get things going.
Oklahoma is going to be your leader after the second rotation. Minnesota holds on to that second spot. UCLA right behind them, and then Arkansas in that 4th spot. Ella Zerbis, right hand of your screen. A little glitch in the music there. She's waiting to go.
Teammate Avery Neff moving through this beam routine. She's finessing some of these landings, but man, you look at an athlete, and the thing that I think first when I watch Avery Neff do gymnastics is, man, she is so good at gymnastics. Just the way that her body understands the skills. It's good technique, and it's really solid landings like that. She is such a star.
And Ella on floor, that's not easy to have to get off the floor and reorient yourself. When you want to go and you're nervous, you just want to get out there.
Ella, junior out of Stillwater, Minnesota, and flips gymnastics. Coached by a former Golden Gopher there, actually, Lori Roskowski.
Sticks that first tumbling pass cold. I've been personally very impressed and inspired by Ella speaking out about her anxiety. I know a lot of fans have reached out to her that have shown support as well that can also relate to what she's going through.
Likes to take a lot of anatomy tests to help with that anxiety, and now they say she just does it out of habit, doesn't quite need it as much, but I think it's so crazy. I wouldn't be taking an anatomy class before a floor routine, that's for sure.
Wow. Has had to wait 6 athletes before her, but could not have done that floor routine better. That might have been the best floor routine she's done in her entire life.
Well done, no doubt. The Utah Utes are hungry to get that team back already next year. Start a new streak, if you will, in that storied program. Let's go down to Taylor Davis. She's with Jenny Hansen from Minnesota.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much, John. Coach, you told us how much confidence your team took away from that regional weekend. How'd you see them tap into that in the first 2 rotations?
You know, I felt like they just kept that momentum going. It's exactly the start we were looking for on those events. So that's the plan. Just keep it going.
We're at the halfway point of this. You sit in one of those top 2 seeds as it is right now. When your team heads to vault, what do you need to see to keep that placement?
You know, good landings. You know, that's the key to vaulting is stick a few landings and then you're right. You stay in the game and that's the plan.
Look forward to seeing it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Minnesota going to vault, that is exactly what they're going to have to do. Not the strongest vault team in the field by any means, but you stick a few vaults and suddenly, look what Oklahoma did with 4. They put up the best score of the entire season. Minnesota got to try to dial those landings in as well. To Dickies Arena, halfway through this semifinal number 2 at the Women's NCAA Gymnastics Championships, the Oklahoma Sooners in that top spot. Feels comfortable for them, but after that, my goodness, it is a panjandrum fighting for that 2 spot. No doubt about it. We had a sensational semifinal number 1. This is the bracket. LSU and Florida, they do advance. And of course, 2 teams from this session will advance this coming Saturday. So those teams stood out. Florida won that first session, but Kaylin Chio, she's the top all-arounder out of that first round.
She did a phenomenal job starting off the meet with this perfect stuck landing. Bars was good too, but just struggled slightly on the landing. I know she was frustrated about that. Came back on beam when her team needed it the most and then rocked this floor routine. It was stunning.
No 10s though. I mean, what's happening right here? I mean, cats and dogs are going to be living together before we know it. But look at this. If you look at the all-around after 2 rotations, you include this early session and this one, Faith Torres is the top all-arounder, and that is because of that late vault lineup change she got in. How about that? This would be her first all-around of the season, and she wins it? Right now, she's on pace to do that. KJ Kindler, she knows how to produce great teams. There is no doubt about it. She has got a formula, and she has been dominant for the last decade.
Fort Worth, and on bars, Faith Torres does this bar routine better than most. Watch this double layout. Hips stretched open and gets that landing. Got a 9.95 on this event.
And Jordan Childs came back for this incredible beam routine, super solid throughout the entire routine, and then seals the deal with a small little scooch back, but very strong beam routine.
Jordan Leiden on floor got a massive 9.9375. Because of tumbling passes like that, these landings were so precise, legs glued together through that 2.5. A lot of athletes will twist the legs, not Jordan.
2 rotations in, it's all Oklahoma at the top, and right now it's all Minnesota holding on to that second spot, but just by their fingertips, because UCLA right behind them, and then Arkansas also in the hunt. All those 3 teams, 0.15 separates them, so that is a small to medium deduction, right, Mary Jo? That's what's separating these teams right now. Minnesota, they go to vault. They better not have too many medium deductions there. They got to stick some landings. Arkansas to bars, Oklahoma to beam, UCLA to floor exercise. Everyone excited to see the Jordan Childs show there. Jocelyn Robertson, we're going to start with her on the uneven bars for Arkansas.
Jocelyn told me yesterday that she used to struggle with her confidence on this event. She felt like she didn't belong in this lineup. She told me that Arkansas coaches have helped her believe that she can do this bar leadoff position, which is so critical for the team. Hoping for a stick here. Just that could be up to 1/10 deduction for that hop, but great start for Arkansas.
Captain America gets it going for Arkansas there. Ava Stewart will get things going here for Minnesota. Can they find the magic Oklahoma found?
Starting with a 1.5. 1 step forward. Good technique in the air. Strong start, but like head coach Jenny said, you gotta find the sticks, and they need to see a few of those throughout the lineups.
Yeah, we've seen some good stuck landings from all these teams. Arkansas had a couple in there. Obviously, Oklahoma. We'll see what Minnesota does. UCLA now on floor exercise. The senior, Sienna Alipio.
Sienna actually only competed beam for the first 3 years of her collegiate career, and now she's competing on 3 events.
Addison Fada left-handed your screen. See how she handles that hand injury here. Her only event.
I saw her warm up, and there was not even a thought that she might wobble, but it's really hard to be an all-around athlete and to get dialed back to just 1 event. because you're cold. So you have a different routine before you mount the beam.
That is a great point, Sam. Anyone who's done all around consistently and then you just say, hey, you're just doing one, that's tough.
And it's devastating because she has done all around every single meet, and this is the only meet she hasn't gotten to do all around. So it's devastating she won't be able to vie for that all around champion spot.
I think there's no question her heart and the will is in it. I think we already knew she was going to make this beam routine before she mounted. Oh. A little hiccup, a little slow with that connection. I would still give it to her. Probably a slight rhythm deduction. But gets a stuck landing, and man, it's gotta feel good for her to compete, feel that pressure, feel the adrenaline, and then be able to deliver one big one for her team.
Addison Feda finishing up there on beam. Sienna Olipio on floor exercise as well. A senior, that could be her last routine in college if UCLA does not advance to Saturday. She has been a great athlete for them. She also is coached by the same coach, Jess Graba, that coached Suni Lee to all-around gold at Midwest Gymnastics. Sarah Morrow now on vault, following a 9.825 in the leadoff spot. Good start.
Yurchenko full. Really great job, just popped her heels up, but she did a nice job staying squeezed and keeping her chest down.
Hey, I want to know, Mary Jo, the hop up. Her feet didn't really come off the mat, but she clearly came up and down. A tenth, half tenth, what do you think? Half?
Half tenth.
Half
yeah,
tenth?
half tenth.
We're getting a half tenth. That looked like what I thought too. I'm glad we're on the same page. Haley Klein now on bars for Arkansas.
Haley Klein having a nice rhythm throughout her bar routine. I liked those giants before the double layout. They were nice and fast. This release move right here, watch her elbow position and her body position as she catches the bar, has to swing immediately. Might be a little close. Judges would want her to land that shoot over position when she catches the low bar. In the horizontal position was a little bit below it. We'll see what the judges do with that.
Now, the coaches said she didn't show up as a bar worker, but has worked so hard to earn this spot in the lineup. Really incredible.
I think it's the meeting we all want to have mic'd up, is the KJ Kindler conversations before beam. She has them with every athlete, but we never get to get in behind that curtain, do we?
Well, she told me that she goes through their entire routine with them, and that's kind of her ritual, her routine with them is to go through what they need to be thinking about during each skill.
Mika Webster Longan for UCLA follows at 9.8125 for Olipio.
Sam, you talked about Mika's form on beam. Watch even her toe point when she runs. No issues on that first tumbling pass.
We are still waiting for the score, by the way, for Addison Feda. So Kira Wells, who is getting some words from KJ, has not gone up on the beam yet.
I like the way Mika travels a lot in her tumbling passes. When she's in the air, she's not afraid to take up the whole diagonal. Mika was on the Belgium national team. She was the floor and all-around champion in Belgium.
Kira Wells finally gets the green flag after a long wait. 9.8 for Addison Feda in that leadoff spot.
Kira opens with a hitch kick to a side aerial, getting her chest up so fast to that finish position. You can see her eyes are glued to the beam. Something that Oklahoma works tremendously hard on is their rhythm. And sometimes lineups have different types of rhythms, but Oklahoma really has the same type of rhythm from start to finish. It's fast, it has changes, it really stands out.
Leah Smith, right hand of your screen, third gymnast for Arkansas, 9.8 right before her from Klein.
Nice shoot over for Leah. I like the way her arms were by her ears when she caught the bar.
Kira finishing round of 1.5, gets the stuck landing.
I love Leah Smith's double layout off bars. It is so precise. Her body position, it's like every muscle is squeezed in her body.
I think she likes it too, Sam. And she should. Tremendous.
Watch the body position right here. Just every single part of her body is squeezed. Arms go right up to keep her balanced.
I like watching 2 sticks at the same time. That's good gymnastics.
Taryn Crump, the sophomore, now in the 3rd spot. Scores building for Minnesota. Could this be something special for them?
Doing Yurchenko 1.5. Man, I saw her stick that in warm-up.
Still a controlled step, probably a 10th. See how close she can get to that 9-9. Sydney Barrows next for UCLA. Let's go to Taylor.
Well, Sydney came to UCLA fresh off an ACL injury, spent about 1.5 years just trying to get back healthy. She told me heading into this year, she had a fire lit to contribute, but she really saw herself as more of a bubble athlete. She said, look at this roster. I knew how stacked we were going to be. I didn't anticipate I'd contribute this much, but I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Watching her down here with her teammates, Sam, you mentioned it. This is an athlete. She keeps it light if needed. She brings the energy if needed. A true spark plug for the Bruins.
Yeah, she is so fun to watch. She's always chatting with the teammates, and I think you see that come through in her dance as well.
And Taylor, you mentioned injuries. If you look at her foot, she actually has half of a tennis ball taped into her ankle to help protect her from any short landings.
I have never seen that before. That's a new one for me.
I have not either.
Makes sense.
But it's very smart. It's for landings like this, in case not to crunch your ankle. It's very smart.
Ella Murphy, the freshman, in the 3 spot for Oklahoma. They did break a 9-9 with that Kira Wells routine.
Throughout this beam routine, you're gonna see Ella on high releve, makes her look really tall on beam, does a good job pushing all the way through her toes, gets her knees straight, gets height off the beam.
Sydney Barrows finishing up that floor routine, having a good time over there as we inch closer to that Jordan Childs in the anchor spot.
Finishing on releve right there. Every little dance movement, her arm, her finger has a place, but watch this. She's gonna do a ring jump, completely loses sight of the beam. Quick to that finish. Nice adjustment there at the end.
Avalon Campbell for Arkansas in the 4 spot. They did break 9-9 with that Leah Smith routine, so trending upward.
Another solid routine for Oklahoma.
Avalon having really nice rhythm throughout this routine. And watch right here, she's gonna do a stalder, connected right into her dismount. Oh, just opened up too early, tried to stick that, but gorgeous while she was on the bar.
Emma Slevin, 4th to go for Minnesota, 9.825 right before her from Crump.
She told me she thinks about being patient on this vault. That really helps her with the landing. Good, big Yurchenko full, just that hop back on the landing. Probably 1/10 hop there. Want to see that overextended body position, flaring in those hips.
And that right there, Tiana was blowing a kiss to her mom in the stands. She does that before every single time she competes.
Very cool ritual for Tiana Sumanasekara here in the 4 spot, looking for their first 9-9. 9-9's a little harder to come by here in this 3rd rotation so far. Although Ella Murphy just put up a 9.9375 for Oklahoma.
Tiana calls this her Bollywood princess routine. Said this routine is extra special for her as she opens up with a massive double layout because the South Asian culture is underrepresented in gymnastics, so she's very proud to represent her Sri Lankan heritage.
Lily Peterson, left hand of your screen for Oklahoma.
She actually won day 2 in the all-around at regional finals, and coaches say that really gave her a lot of confidence. She had a lot of sickness throughout the season that kept her out of some critical meets. Opens back handspring layout, bobble at the end. It's really important when you finish each skill on beam that you squeeze your core incredibly hard. You want to squeeze all muscles, but really your core, because that's going to help keep you balanced.
Nice front layout finish for Tiana.
Finishing round of double full, no issues on the dismount. OU's got those sticky feet today on all the events.
Tiana's first tumbling pass, a difficult double layout. Hips nice and open, was actually close to going out of bounds, but handled that like a pro.
Allison Cucci now for Arkansas. One score of 9-9 so far for the Razorbacks. See if they can get maybe a couple more here to end the rotation.
That pack salto was so nice and high, so floaty. Allison actually had the highest finish at SEC championships out of any freshman. Went big for that last handstand. Oh, could be up to 1/10 deduction for that dismount. That chest dropped as well. Will be interesting to see what the judges do.
You know, the 3 teams that are vying for that second spot, you give Oklahoma that top spot, but after that, only one score between all 3 of those teams of 9-9 or better so far. They are just going to be jam-packed together. This is moments ago, the senior Gianna Gertis from Minnesota. What a great story she is.
Doing a Yurchenko 1.5. Got to get this landing. Under-rotated. Again, good body positions in the air, but we're seeing good technique across the board. It's those landings that are going to make all the difference.
Let's go over to the floor exercise. Let's go down to Taylor.
Ashley Sullivan up here on floor for UCLA. Head coach Janelle McDonald told us she reminds her of Caitlin Rosen with that energy and fire. Well, Caitlin had her down here on the floor before this routine, put her arm around her and said, look around this arena and tell yourself this is your house, this is your floor. Right there with that double layout first pass, she said this is your floor, this is what you live for, go be you.
Well, she absolutely like a knife in butter on that double layout to open. Elle Miller, left hand of your screen for Oklahoma. Lily Peterson, a 9.875, so 2 scores of 9-9 or better for Oklahoma.
UCLA sets themselves apart with their choreography, their performance. They really tell a story and put on a show.
Elle starting with that back handspring layout, really solid. Coaches say that she's the most improved athlete this year. She had surgery in the fall, so she's come a long way from that healing.
Ashley finishing up with a perfect landing position.
Elle with the side aerial, really interesting technique. I actually would like to bring our rules analyst in just to see what she saw on that side aerial, kind of side summy skill you saw.
It really depends what the judges saw. Did they see the side aerial or did they see the side summy? That first foot really needs to land perpendicular to the beam, or if she had an incomplete twist, if they're calling it a side summy, or maybe over rotation of the twist if they saw the side aerial. So let's see what they do with that.
Well, I'm sure she hasn't been getting deducted throughout the season. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been in her routine this way. So she starts off with a side aerial, but then turns her feet and ends up sideways in the side summy position. Really interesting.
Morgan Price to anchor this bar rotation for Arkansas. They do have 2 scores in the 9-7s. That means they're going to have to count one of them.
Well, John, Morgan's been perfect before, and this routine is pretty good so far. Handstands right on top of the bar. Wow. Couldn't have done that better.
Nice finish for Arkansas on bars. Ariana Ostrom now for Minnesota, trying to erase that 9-7-7-5 from Gertis.
She started off competing a Yurchenko full because she wasn't making the 1.5, but then she got a 10 on this vault right here. Wow.
Nailed that one.
When it counts the most, able to put it to her feet, got her chest in the right position. Watch her shoulders when her feet hit the mat. They just come forward to help her balance, sit straight up, and that is going to be huge. Minnesota's on a roll.
Got to think that will be their first 9-9 on that event. Did Morgan Price get one for Arkansas to anchor? We'll find out in a few moments. Ella Miller, 9-8-7-5 for her with Faith Torres in the anchor spot, and now she's an Olympic champion. She's a world medalist. She's an individual NCAA champion, and this is one of the events she is known for. It's Jordan Childs. Here's a floor exercise. Just sit back and enjoy it.
Gorgeous double layout. Jordan Childs is one of those athletes who's a score watcher, so I wouldn't be surprised if she knows exactly what score she needs.
Faith Torres takes to the beam for Oklahoma left side.
Faith got 3rd in the all-around in NCAA's last year. She was the top all-around athlete returning this season. Big side aerial, back layout, step out. Good finish. Faith's also an AAI award finalist, joined by 6 other finalists, basically the Heisman in gymnastics. She's just so light when she lands on the beam. Great finish for Faith on beam.
An incredible finish for Jordan Childs on floor. Somehow I feel like every time I watch her, her gymnastics looks better than ever before, and she gives the illusion that it's easy for her when, of course, she worked so hard for this. Really showing us her 3rd place Dancing with the Stars finish. And watch this last tumbling pass. Watch the way she just kicks out. Perfect timing.
And how about that last moment? We had a national champion going on beam from 2024 in Faith Torres and a national champion in Jordan Childs on floor exercise. Here's Hannah Horton, the junior from Missouri. Tremendous athlete, had a great season as well for that team.
The control that Hannah has on this event is so fun for me to watch. Watch this dismount, the way she floats up. That could be about 1/10 hop backwards right there, but in the bar routine, her feet do not come apart the entire time.
The Missouri Tigers, tremendous championship last year. They finished 3rd here. Didn't make it this year as a team, but still right in the mix. Just couldn't quite get over that line to be back at the national championships. Jordan Childs, a 9.975, and that is the high score on floor exercise so far here at this championship. Maggie Slife now takes to the balance beam, her 3rd event, competing the all-around. And Avery Neff, 2 all-arounders here competing as individuals.
Maggie's been so unaffected when we watched her at regionals with her team. When I watched her warming up here, it's just the same every single time she salutes.
Avery opening up with a massive tumbling pass, 3 skills connected in a row, each one higher than the next.
Solid back handspring layout.
Avery is so dynamic on this event, from her tumbling to her dance. Every single movement is so precise.
Big front tuck. Don't see many front tucks in the NCAA. Really appreciate when you do see a good one. Maggie's leotard is actually custom made to honor the Air Force search and rescue team that just saved the 2 F-15 pilots that were shot down in Iran. That is so cool. This is bigger than herself. She's able to put some good gymnastics, but also see the bigger picture.
Absolutely representing a lot more than just herself here at these championships. While we're waiting for some of these scores to come in, let's go down to Taylor. She's with Sienna Alipio from UCLA.
Thank you very much, John. Well, Sienna, this one has been quite close, but you guys head to floor and do what you do every time. You guys are now sitting in one of those top 2 spots. What's it taken to this point? You guys have had to dig deep.
Yeah, honestly, everything we talk about right now is it's not over till it's over, and we are truly, truly embracing that today. Our team motto this year has been one team, one love. We go out there and do absolutely what we love, which is just compete and just be there for each other and have each other's back. So that's been what it is all day.
One more rotation to determine who heads to a championship meet. Clearly the energy's high, but what do you and your teammates need to bring to the final rotation?
Yeah, we just need to have a poly party. We need to imagine that we're at home in poly, just absorbing all the energy from every fan in here and just do what we know how to do. I've seen these girls stick these vaults countless times, and I know that they can do it right now.
Excited to see it. Thanks for the time, Sienna.
Thank you.
Thanks, Taylor. Yeah, interesting spot for Sienna Alipio. Her gymnastics career is teetering on how UCLA does in vault. She has to sit and watch whether or not she will get to compete another collegiate routine. Depends on how they perform there. So interesting scenario for her. As we see the standings, Oklahoma in the top spot, still fairly comfortably ahead of UCLA now. In the 2 spot, Minnesota moves down to the 3rd spot, and Arkansas still down there in number 4. Minnesota 0.225 out of the go spot, and UCLA. The NCAA National Championship Saturday on ABC. The championship preview show will be at 3:30 Eastern time, and then the National Championship kicks off at 4 Eastern time. All of it on ABC. Florida and LSU are already in. You can see all the NCAA championship information. You can go to ncaa.com. Campbell stuck in the middle having to listen to all of it. But they are having a good time. Make sure you get on the app, check them out. Here is the final rotation. UCLA, they go to vault, 4th in the nation on that event. Minnesota goes to bars, 17th in the nation there. They're going to have to do better than that average, I would guess. Arkansas on beam, their 6th ranked team in the country there. And Oklahoma goes to floor where they are ranked 4th. They just got to stay on their feet and they will be fine. The drama is all unfolding right behind them. Minnesota 0.225 behind UCLA. Arkansas 0.425 behind UCLA. What has to happen here for UCLA? They've got to land clean. They've got to make sure those steps are 1/10 steps, not 2/10 steps, and certainly stay on your feet. For Minnesota, they need to put together one of their best bar rotations of the season. It's handstands and landings there. And then, of course, on the balance beam, do not wobble. Stick those landings. If you're Arkansas, maybe hope for a little bit of a break from the teams that are in front of you, and you might have a shot.
Mark Freeman, the UCLA assistant vault coach, told me that he was going to tell them in the huddle it's their moment and they need to seize it starting here.
And they're starting with the freshman, Tiana Sumanasekara.
doing a Yurchenko full. She's been landing with such good consistency. Strong first vault for UCLA. Probably just that 1/10 pop back on the landing.
Minnesota over on the bars, Gianna Gertis. She will lead things off here.
Gianna actually took a full year off of gymnastics. She said it really gave her a chance to hone in on the details when she was coming back. So those details are going to be really important right here in this moment.
And this is the moment she has come back for, Allie.
Absolutely. And in this leadoff spot, it's critical for her to hit those handstands. Little bit of leg separation right there.
Priscilla Park, left hand of your screen for Arkansas in their leadoff spot.
Nice stuck dismount on bars.
Really essential spot for Priscilla Park here. Opens with her back handspring layout. Really nice, floaty back layout to the landing. Really lands light on the beam. You can see that intensity in her eyes. I think everyone that mounts the beam has a different alter ego. Priscilla's looks really intense, really confident.
Ella Murphy, the freshman, in the leadoff spot here for the Sooners. For the Sooners, it's stay on your feet, stay healthy, put those grips away and get ready for Saturday.
Priscilla finishing 1.5, 1 step on the dismount. That was really the biggest major deduction. Strong start for Arkansas.
We also see that on floor. She steps in releve.
Caitlin Rosen now on ball following that 9.85.
Doing a Yurchenko 1.5. Got to get a good block. Oh, no. Really missed the pop off the table, and you could just see it in her face. That is not what she was hoping for.
Remember, you drop the low score on every event. You guys know that by now at home. That is the score for UCLA. They're going to want to drop. If they end up counting that, I would expect they do not advance, so they need 4 hits the rest of the way.
Look at her arms right here on the table. She bent her arms, which means she didn't get the block from her shoulders. That means it didn't get high enough off the table for her to get that rotation all the way around. She was short.
And she knew that too,
yeah.
Sam. We've all been there where you don't quite have that block and you are just twisting and pulling and hoping. And that is unfortunate for Rosen. Ariana Ostrom now in the 2 spot. Gertis at 9.8 to start.
Ariana's going to start with a pike Jaeger coming up right here. She's going to pike for body. Nice release move. Hack salto. Gorgeous height on that. For Minnesota, it's going to be critical that they stick their dismounts. Those 1/10, 1/10 landing deductions really make a difference. Be up to 1/10 for that.
We're all holding our breath when they go for these bar dismounts because it's been so rare in this competition.
And right here, this pike Jaeger just came in ever so slightly with those bent elbows, but judges don't get to watch it in the slow-mo position, so they might not have seen that in real time. And then let's take a look at this dismount. Double layout, we've seen a lot of these today, and just was slightly over-rotated on that, took that 1 step backwards.
Lily Peterson now follows Ella Murphy's 9.85. I feel like if you're Oklahoma, this is a great chance for you to compete loose, get used to the floor, and get yourself set up for the final. Haley Klein, left hand to your screen for Arkansas on beam.
Lily opening up with a front handspring double full. Lily actually had to take off about a month of competing on floor because she was struggling with an illness, and it took her a long time to get her endurance back, and floor is the most difficult one.
Haley starting off with a very difficult and unique standing layout series. Spoke to Jocelyn Robertson yesterday, and she said Kaylee Klein deserves more height. She's consistent in almost everything, and she said, I don't think her scores always reflect how pretty her gymnastics is. And Jocelyn, I agree. This beam routine is looking good. Finishing 1.5, hot forward. But everyone knows her as the hardest worker in the gym. Job well done.
Nice clean form for Lily Peterson.
2 done for Oklahoma, 4 to go for them. UCLA, drama unfolding on vault. Caitlin Rosen, a 9.2125. They got to drop that one. Nico Webster-Longen now, last year here at these championships, had a very painful landing on this vault. It wasn't good. She did recover from that, but certainly this is a chance for her to go big.
Zichenko 1.5. Oh.
Wow, and she stayed on her feet, and that was critical, but still big deduction.
Yeah, I think that's not going to be great for her score. Mary Jo, what do you think?
I think she had 3 steps and an under rotation.
That is almost equivalent to a fall, essentially.
Taryn Crump from Minnesota on the uneven bars. Do they take advantage? This is a big opportunity for Minnesota and maybe also for Arkansas.
Well, John, I'm really liking the rhythm on this bar routine right now. Really using the bounce of the bar so well. This dismount is going to be massive. Wow. Way to handle the pressure when the team needed her.
I did say that Minnesota and UCLA had an advantage because they had such a difficult regionals. They've already been tested a few times that they know how to handle pressure situations like this.
Here's that vault again.
Misses the block slightly, but then again just rushes the chest coming up and doesn't get enough pop to stand it totally up vertical and misses that landing.
We will see what the judges do with those landing deductions, but fighting for every 10th is what Webster-Longen was doing right there, and it might pay off. This is not over by any means. Kira Wells for Oklahoma following a pair of 9.85s.
Sam, you talked about Haley Klein being under the radar and not getting the attention she deserves. I think Kira Wells is an athlete who brings so much value to Oklahoma, but doesn't get the recognition she deserves.
I agree. She's been clutch every time she's in these competitions. She started off this entire meet with a stick. We got to be talking more about Kira Wells.
And right now, unless something changes, she's going to be your vault champion in a leadoff spot. How about that?
Finishing with a front layout. You'll notice her arms fly out to the side, helps keep her body balanced to better control her landing.
Another clutch routine from Kira Wells.
Through 3 athletes for UCLA and Minnesota, Minnesota is now up 0.0625. It is still so close. Here's Riley Jenkins. They've got to hit these last 3.
Yurchenko 1.5. Great, strong landing. Is it going to be enough? We'll see. She did win vault at Big Tens.
That was absolutely clutch. Pressure on. And Riley just delivered. Just a sophomore. Lacey Saltzman now. I love this back and forth we're getting between UCLA and Minnesota. Arkansas, unfortunately, struggling on beam. 2 scores in the 9-7s. It looks like a 2-team race for that second spot.
And big test right here, toe to off line change. We don't see many of those in college gymnastics. Nice handstand position. You got to give these athletes credit under the bright lights and the pressure to still go big for your handstands. Takes a lot of guts to do that. Wow. For that stuck landing, and John, you're right. These Gophers really know how to handle the pressure.
Those handstands too. She was so aggressive getting her heels up. Man.
9-9 for Kira Wells. Now Elle Miller, the sophomore. 3 gymnasts to go for Oklahoma.
Elle's gonna start with a front through into a double tuck. No movement of that front foot. Sam, you mentioned Elle's great ability on vault to know exactly where she is to stick the landings. I see the same thing on floor.
Ashley Sullivan, left hand of your screen. Big moment for the Bruins.
Yurchenko 1.5. She's been able to lock it in.
Oh my goodness.
Really fighting, trying to finesse that landing.
After 4 athletes for Minnesota and UCLA, Minnesota extends the lead to .175. That is also dropping that low score you see lightly shaded on the scoring tower. So Minnesota starting to add something to their lead.
Graceful routine for Elle.
Oklahoma's having themselves some fun. Here's another look at Sullivan's vault.
Yeah, she gets a good block off the table. I would have liked to see her wait a bit more before she started the twist. You could see her twisting a little too early, opens up, and you see her foot's on the line, which means she had some directional issues as well. A bit under-rotated, a bit direction. Just rushed the whole thing, but man, I've seen her do a really good 1.5.
Lacey Saltzman, a 9.9625. This is shaping up to be a career bar day for the University of Minnesota. Emma Slevin now in the 5 spot.
Well, John, the next 2 competitors for Minnesota, Emma and Jordan, were also co-champions on bars at Big Ten championships. So they know a thing or two about handling this pressure.
It's all in front of them for Minnesota right now.
Emma just has to take it one skill at a time.
I talked to her yesterday, and she said all she thinks about is trying to be floaty.
Well, that looked like a floaty double layout to me.
So this is the situation. 9.8375. And Emma Slevin will launch the Golden Gophers into the NCAA finals. And that bar routine right there looks like it could very well have done it.
Yeah, that's the score she needs, man. I'm thinking she's getting that one.
I agree with you both. First pass is the same one we saw from Lily Peterson. Except Mackenzie does a front layout in front of it. this tumbling pass. She's going to do a 2.5 and dance out of it. See right here, she's gonna step out of it.
So a moment right now on vault. We believe Emma Slevin got the score she needed. Jordan Childs' career, and what a career it has been, coming to an end right here with this vault.
Yurchenko double full. Nicely done. Most difficult vault in the NCAA. And you're looking at a trailblazer in this sport. An NCAA gymnast that has accomplished so much, both in elite gymnastics, in college gymnastics. She's meant so much for this team.
And for those of you who are big Jordan Childs fans, which is a lot of you, don't fret. I firmly believe we will see her make a run at 2028. But it is in. Emma Slevin, 9.85. That is enough to say the words Minnesota in the finals. Words I didn't think I was going to say. Don't tell them I said that. How about the Golden Gophers? Jordan Lydon, she gets the victory lap. She'll anchor the bar rotation.
Wow, what a cool and unforgettable history-making moment for Minnesota. Jordan is so good on this event. Her form is impeccable. Every single skill has a beginning and an ending. Gorgeous.
But they didn't need it. What a victory lap routine for Minnesota.
What a run for Jenny Hansen in her 12th season as the head coach of the Golden Gophers. And for the UCLA Bruins, Sienna Lipio, she knows her career is over as well, her collegiate career. Tremendous season for the Bruins nonetheless. So Faith Torres, the anchor spot for Oklahoma. First floor appearance this season, was added to the vault rotation late after not having done it since February. And now, how about this? She needs a 9.8125, and she is the NCAA all-around champion. On the right hand of your screen, Minnesota just realized the news. It is a reality for the Golden Gophers. Avery Neff, left hand of your screen, finishing up her all-around competition today.
One of the best vaults in NCAA gymnastics, gets so much block off the table. I don't even think that does it justice of how high she gets off that table.
It really does.
Well, John, you said she needed a 9.8125. There's no doubt in my mind she's getting that score.
And I'll tell you what, this floor routine, she's had some injuries she's dealt with, hasn't done floor this season, but this floor routine is a game changer for Oklahoma as well. I think they need that floor routine in that rotation, gives them a big boost to win that team title potentially on Saturday.
I think that's going to be OU's highest floor score of the day.
Jocelyn Robertson now finishing this off for Arkansas. Morgan Price finished her collegiate career moments ago with that 9.825, and what a storied career it was. First gymnast to get a 10 as part of an HBCU when she was part of Fisk University, and now she moves over to Arkansas where she also got the first 10. So congratulations for Morgan Price as Jocelyn finishes up there. Orly Tran just got a 10 at regionals for Iowa. Here she is on bars.
And this form on bars is so exquisite. The toe point. She actually competed at the Paris Olympics for Canada This beautiful double layout. Wow, had to wait the entire competition to go up last on bars. Well done.
Jocelyn's been crushing this beam routine. Showed me yesterday, it's just fun for me up there. And I told her, you can tell, anybody watching Jocelyn on beam can tell that she's having fun up there and that she's enjoying it. Job well done, Jocelyn Robertson. She's such a leader for this team.
So that does it for the Arkansas Razorbacks as well. Great season for them. They obviously will not make it into the finals, but Jordan Weber, you can see her there all in red. What a tremendous job she's done with that program. Took it over at age 23. And what maturity and leadership she has. Great things to come from the Razorbacks down the road as well. Maggie Slife now finishes up her NCAA championships. Just a junior. Maybe she'll be back here next year again, but great story, great inspiration to a lot of people across the country for sure.
Nice full twisting double back. We don't see too many of those combination passes with the full twist. Typically athletes do the layout, so I love how she's taking the extra risk.
Well done from Maggie Slife. Now our last gymnast here in this semifinal number 2 from Kentucky. It's Delaney Rodriguez.
Such a joy to watch on this event. Starting off, switch leap, straddle half, straddle quarter, excuse me. Handspring, back handspring, layout, triple series. Delaney has been tested this year on this beam routine. She's had to go and follow a fall. That puts so much pressure on an athlete, but it also battle test you and set you up for situations like this where you're at the end of the entire competition, but she's just in her own zone, staying focused, doing what works for her. Finishing round off 1.5. One of the best routines that I have seen her do this season. Good job, Delaney.
And Sam, she had to wait the entire competition to compete this late at night. Makes it even more special and impressive to handle the pressure like that.
Well, that does it for the gymnastics in this rotation. But we've got one very important interview, and it's Taylor with Jenny Hansen again. Go.
You are absolutely right, John. Jenny Hansen joins me now. You just let out what I have to assume is a sigh of relief. Minnesota's headed to the championship for the first time ever. How does that feel?
I'm so proud of these guys. I mean, they believed we could do this, and they just walked in today with that belief, and we're steady all the way through, and I'm just so proud of them, and I'm still a little in disbelief, you know. What a night, though, what a night.
You told us this team went into regionals maybe as an underdog, but they didn't view themselves that way. That same mentality is taking you to a championship meet. How advantageous could that be?
Oh, you know, coming into this meet, we knew we belonged here. And I really believe that going into Saturday, that mentality will carry us to another great meet.
Watching them close out this meet with that bar rotation, it slowly starts to become a reality. What were those moments like?
Well, we had so many amazing routines and routines, high scores from athletes that, I mean, to have your best routine of the